pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Dribble off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Dribble off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. That just might work.
Welcome back to another episode of the Michel Matters Podcast. I'm Jocks Michel.
And I'm Jackie Michelle.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Episode 16. Back for another one.
16.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah. Wow. That's a lot.
Going strong. Yeah, I'm already thinking about taking a break. But yeah, another one. I don't feel like much has been going on recently.
No, I've definitely been busy on the business side.
Yeah.
Just a lot of alterations, a lot of back to school, brides.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people coming in and out, and
yeah,
you've been busy working in the room, so
yeah, we're probably gonna have to talk about that, like just the future of that.
Yeah,
and what does that look like?
So that could be another episode, I guess. But anyway, aside from that, you've been doing your minimalism challenge.
Yes. So I feel like people who have been looking at my stories on Instagram are like, what does this even mean? So somebody actually asked me, what is the minimalism challenge? And after watching the documentary on Netflix, I looked at their website and they had like a minimalism game that they were doing. Basically, you're getting rid of the amount of things depending on the day.
Yeah.
So day 1, you get rid of 1 thing. Day 10, you get rid of 10 things, and so on. So I'm on today's the 12th.
Yeah.
So I'm on day 12.
Yeah, it's been okay so far. I just worry about when you get to like day 19 and 21, and
I mean,
what are you gonna give up at that point?
We have a lot of stuff. It's like we have a lot of stuff, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. I'm just worried you're going to run out of things and then I'm going to be on the list. So.
You on the list? Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay, we'll see. But yeah.
But it's been good. I feel like this is good because we don't need that stuff. We haven't used it.
No, it's true. A lot of it is stuff that we haven't even thought about. Things that's just been hiding in the closet.
Yeah.
So it's been easy to get rid of. But I'm worried, like, towards the end, are you still going to have... Because that's a lot of stuff. When you added it up, how much stuff did it turn out, like, in total, did you have to get rid of?
I think I did the math, and it's like almost 500 things.
Yeah, see?
But they did, I guess there's, like, research, and they said the average American house has, like, 300,000 things in it.
Maybe.
But you're also including, like, paperwork, like, files and stuff. I haven't even gone through, like, our cabinet and stuff like that. Like, old paperwork we don't need.
So, one sheet of paper counts?
I don't know.
Yeah,
not to me.
So
probably like a file.
But yeah. So
we
that's
have a lot
been
of things outside too. So
yeah, that's true. So yeah, I guess that's been interesting to watch.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I mean,
some of the stuff is yours too.
Yeah. You are getting rid of some of my stuff, so I gotta make sure. I gotta watch your snap some days to make sure you didn't get rid of anything that I wanted.
Yeah.
But it's been good so far. Do you feel like you're gonna gain something towards the end of this? Like, what do you feel like you're gonna gain?
More space.
Aside from space.
Less junk. I don't know. I mean.
So it's nothing mental, like, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I already feel lighter.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, not like those things were weighing me down, but I see it and I'm like, wow, this really has no purpose. Mm-hmm. Like we don't use it. I already like a lot of the stuff I've been giving away for free. Unless I think it's really good value. Yeah. Like the shutters we probably will sell. Yeah. But, yeah, like picture frames that we don't use. It's a lot of home decor stuff. Yeah. And it's just showing me stuff like, wow, you were really into this at some point.
And hoarding, because some of this is just hoarding at this point.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like I'm a hoarder, like a hoarder on the show. This house doesn't look like a hoarder lives here.
But it's all hidden. But it's all coming out now. You had your old cheerleading jacket for what? I don't know. Your graduation cords.
I did.
Your high school graduation cords.
Yeah.
For what?
I don't know.
Hoarding.
Yeah. The memories, I guess. I don't know.
Hoarding. So
yeah, I gotta go through my clothes again to see what else.
Yeah, I definitely got a lot of stuff I think I can get rid of.
You have a lot of clothes.
Yeah, to get rid of.
Yeah. But yeah. So what else has been happening?
Oh, I wanted to say congratulations. One of my good friends, Jeff, and his not wife, they got married last weekend. So I just wanted to say congrats. I couldn't make it out. We really wanted to, but just starting the whole new job and everything, we couldn't make it out.
Work.
But definitely congrats to Jeff.
Congratulations.
And his wife. Hope they had a great wedding and enjoy what they have coming after.
Yeah.
Call me if you have any questions. It gets real from here.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So just make sure you guys subscribe and rate us on iTunes. You can send us comments on SoundCloud or on the gram at Jackie I. Michelle and Twitter at Coach_JOX. So we actually have a sponsor now. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. If you know me, you know I love to read a good book, but with having to drive around the city all the time and be in Miami traffic, listening to the book is a good option. So you guys can now get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial now at audibletrial.com/Michel Matters. I'm currently listening to Boundaries by Henry Cloud and John Townsend, and it's been really good. I'm on chapter 2 so far. And did you download a book, babe?
Not yet, but I did sign up, and I'm trying to figure out what's a good book to download now. So if you have any suggestions, let me know.
Yeah, so don't be like him. Get your free audio book and download it now at audibletrial.com/Michel Matters.
All right, back to the show.
As promised, we were going to bring the current matters back, which was the hot topic. And last week, there was a lot. Was it last week?
I want to say it was 2 weeks ago at this point.
Yeah, that this news broke out, and it was just good news. So I feel like we should definitely talk about this.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to say it was 2 weeks ago. It first came out that Lebron James was opening his school. The school is called I Promise. He's doing it in Akron, Ohio, which is his hometown. I feel like it recently came back up because the president had some negative comments to say towards him in typical fashion. But yeah, I don't want to have that overshadow all the good things that Brown's been doing. So the school right now is for 3rd and 4th graders. And I think some of the big things that I took away from it were a lot of the benefits that the kids are going to get.
Yeah.
So first of all, it's a STEM-based school. So they're going to focus on science, technology, math. And all the students get free bikes.
Bikes?
Yeah, like a bicycle.
Okay. To get to school.
Yeah, it was one of those things because Brown said that he... that was one of his like saving graces as a child. Like whenever he had an issue, he could just take his bike and he'd just ride and kind of, have some alone time or whatever.
And hopefully it's all the same bikes.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
And every student's gonna get breakfast, lunch, and a snack. Since I think it's a longer school day.
Yeah, I heard
than
it's like
usual.
9 to 5 or something like that.
Yeah, so that's pretty long. Because I was looking, schools here are like 6-7 hours. So they're gonna be doing, you said 9 to 5, 8 hours.
Which makes sense because I was talking to somebody and I was like, I don't know where this like 8 to 3 came from.
Since it doesn't match up with parent schedules,
right? Like it's like setting you up
for aftercare,
to be late and then also to pay extra for after school programs.
Yeah, I
and
guess.
Stuff.
But
so that makes sense.
And for every student who graduates, they get free tuition to the University of Akron.
If they get into the university. Right?
They didn't really go that far. They just said if you graduate, you get free tuition. I'm assuming if you're graduating, then I mean they have to have some type of partnership. So I'm assuming they're getting in once they graduate, which I thought was like
That's
key
good.
part. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can do all of this in high school, but then, like, what's next?
Yeah, because...
You know, because not everybody can afford to go to college.
So, I thought that was amazing.
I don't know much about Akron, but is it like a poverty area?
I mean, you gotta figure because everywhere has its parts. So
yeah, but
I'm assuming
know if that's one of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a big city. It's like Miami. You can't just say
Gotcha.
Miami, and there's different parts.
Mm-hmm.
But it is. I think it's also targeted to kids who are like reading like at a lower grade level and
Gotcha.
come from like single parent households and stuff. So it's targeting the specific people that would most benefit from something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And the other great part was it's also benefits the parents. They do have like job placement activities, and they also do GED classes for the parents.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know.
All around, it's good. It's good. It's like it's good to see. Like obviously, I'm sure he has his own situation and like a big house and fancy cars and all that stuff. But to like see him use his portion of NBA money, which like I have my own qualms about the NBA, but using his part to do something greater, that's like really nice to see because you don't see that all the time.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time when we talk about athletes and their money, we talk about how they, blow it or waste their money or how, some people say they're overpaid. But when you see this type of investment, like the things he's doing with his money, and his time and his influence is good. And just how people, I mean, it's this type of era, but everyone has a criticism. So the president criticized him, and now people are saying, it's not really his school because he doesn't put up most of the funding because it is a public school.
Yeah, I mean, but he can't run a school by himself.
But these are what people are saying. Like, there's like articles out there where people are actually writing about how it's not his school and the taxpayers are taking the brunt of it. But I mean, he put up, they said, at least $40 million of his own dollars.
Wow.
To help start the school.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
I just don't. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
And I feel like people were also just now mad at him that he didn't stay with his team.
People are mad just.
But then now it's like, well, look what I'm doing with the city.
So I think it was good that he did this. I want to take the time to congratulate him. Say something good that athletes are doing. Yeah. Especially someone who's been in like the spotlight like he's been.
And not even just an athlete, just like a celebrity. Yeah. Like I don't hear people or celebrities doing stuff like this. Yeah. So congrats to Brown.
I can't wait to see how this school goes. Like it goes from here, because this year I think they start off with 3rd and 4th grade. Next year they add 2nd and 5th. So it's gonna keep growing.
That's weird.
What, to start like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get it either, but that's how he started. So they're starting with 3rd and 4th. They're gonna grow to 2nd and 5th. Okay. So I kind of want to see how the school grows and how it goes from there.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, do good, guys.
All right, let's get into the Michel Matter.
Yes.
Girl, you're looking sweet tonight. I could love you in a special way.
So today's Michel Matter was actually brought on because of a little bit of the Lebron James situation. I'm sure like he wanted to start the school because he probably had people looking out for him when he was younger, and in turn he's been looking out for people with the rise of his career and everything. So I wanted to talk about mentorship, and if you thought that was important, and we can get into like if we have mentors and like, how we feel about that. So what are your thoughts?
Did you have any mentors growing up?
I mean, I had like aunts and stuff that I looked up to, but not necessarily like people who I would talk to outside of family that looked out for me and gave me advice and stuff. Not really. Just like aunts. So a lot of people that I looked to in the way that they were wives and parents, the way that they worked. Yeah. In that way, I had a mentor, I guess, in like some family members.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, I don't really think I thought about it like that. It's not something I really started to think about until I got older. Because even like, you know, people ask you, did you have any role models growing up? Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't think about stuff like that.
Besides like your parents or something.
Yeah, I mean, besides like my parents. Yeah. But like role models outside of the family, no, I never really considered it. It's not something until I got older. And I mean, I think it's kind of part of adulting a little bit. Mm-hmm. Just thinking about like where you want to go in life, the different things you want to do. You can't do everything on your own. Yeah. And it's kind of good to maybe find someone who's done it before, and kind of, even if it's indirectly, but learn from them and kind of use them as a guide.
Right. I feel like I thought your answer was going to be different because you've had so many coaches in your life. You wouldn't say that they were mentors. You would just put them in the coach realm.
No, not really. Because
is there a difference?
Especially growing up, like, yeah, I don't think I had anybody who's that invested into my personal life. Right. Growing up, like most of my coaches, I had good coaches that like cared about me and stuff like that, but it wasn't like they were like really getting to know me in that way. But they definitely were like good motivators and good leaders, but not like a mentor. What I would consider like a mentor.
Yeah. Like they just made sure you stayed out of trouble.
Yeah.
And then took you on basketball trips.
Pretty much.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you have a mentor today?
Do I have a mentor? Kind of. I guess just to break it up like
into sections.
Yeah, sections of my life.
Yeah.
So as far as like work, I have certain people, that are like work mentors to me. Mm-hmm. My current boss now, I had always known about him. I didn't know him personally, and then until I started to work for him. And little by little, like I try to pick his brain on how he thinks about certain things, and now like I use him as like a good reference. So I would consider my boss now to be one of my work mentors. Does he know he's my work mentor? No, probably not. I should probably tell him maybe, but I don't want to look like a suck up. No. So I ain't tell him yet, but he's like my work mentor.
Okay. I feel like I have one of those too.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely have at least one or two of those, and one of them kind of knows that she's my mentor. The other one, I just kind of like look up to his career path, but I don't talk to him on a daily basis like I do the other one. So like the female mentor, she's just had such a good career in like the fashion industry, especially athletic apparel. So I worked with her. I'm not going to say the name. I worked with her in an athletic apparel brand, but she's worked at Under Armour. She's traveled everywhere, pretty much for work, and she's taken like her kids with her, and her husband obviously, with her for work, and they just made it work. So as far as the career part, I look up to her for that, and like every time I decide to make a career change or something, she's the first person I call. So yeah, she's definitely helped me, and like she knows people, I feel, everywhere. So if I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about going here, she's like, I don't know if you would actually like that team, and if such and such is still there and stuff like that. So I think she's a good mentor.
What do you look for in a mentor?
Like, I mean, it's like what you said, there's different sections, right? So I feel like there's nobody I know that kind of has the life that I would want in all areas. But I think that's what I look for. Like, if they're actually living in a way that I would see myself living, and obviously Christians, that's a big one. Those are the main things. Like if I could see myself kind of in their shoes in a way, then they could probably be a good mentor.
Yeah. So I guess for me, like, when I think of like, so for like my work mentor, I consider like his longevity, his reputation, and just like, I guess certain people to get where they go, they have to kind of think a little different. Right. So I kind of try to understand his, like, the thought process, or at least appreciate the thought process that they have in what they do, and find out like what made them different from other people in the field.
Yeah.
But I definitely like look for people who I feel like if I model myself after, like, would I want to be in their position, or like try to find people who kind of are reasonable, or things that I aspire to be. Like, I'm not picking like mid-level management people, right? Because I don't want to be mid-level management,
right?
But I guess it's just, I'm not picking people like, I don't know. I try to pick people that I feel like if I keep on this path, I can reach that goal,
or surpass,
unless you aim for the top. So, but yeah, I guess it's like I try to be selective in the way I choose my mentors.
Yeah. What about like a husband mentor? Or I guess we should say like a couple mentor, right? Because you wouldn't just pick like a husband and then I pick like a different one.
That's true. So for like, but there is one family I feel like we
at church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's two. I'll take two.
Two?
Yeah. There's one family.
I only know of one.
That we would consider like a mentor. There's two. So there's one. It's just tough talking in like
I know
terms like this, but you've listening. You've spoken to the wife about her being your mentor.
Yeah, she actually knows about that.
But her husband doesn't know.
Yeah.
That I could see him as like a mentor.
Yeah, but she knows that like we all need to hang out.
Oh, she does?
Yes.
Oh, so my secret's out the bag.
Kind of.
Okay.
But you guys talk all the time.
We do, but I'm trying to expand it because right now, like, we just talk about like sports and stuff because he thinks I'm just a basketball coach.
Right.
But like, I'm more than that. So, I'm ready to pick his brain. But I think that's part of it, is building up the courage, because I do think it takes courage to let someone know that you look up to them in that way.
Yeah.
And especially as a guy, I feel like it's a little hard. Me personally, I have no shame in that sense. Like,
yeah, you're friendly. You just don't like to make the first move. I don't think.
Maybe that's what it is. At least not with men.
Yeah.
It's not really my thing.
Yeah.
But
who's the other couple? I don't know.
Oh, I mean, there's another couple that we always talk about. They're like, some people.
Like older.
Yeah, okay. Much older.
Okay. Yes.
But I guess besides talking, because people are like listening to us right now, like, who are they talking about?
No, we don't have to say. But
no, I'm not going to say. But describe why we consider.
Well, it's for different reasons. So, like, the first family, I just like the way that their family structure is. And you just look at some people and you can tell that they're happy.
Yeah.
You know, like, they look young. They, like, actually talk together, like, to each other. And they're very involved with their children and their activities. But they are also just involved with each other.
Yes.
Like, their children don't control their lives. I can see that in them. And they're like on the younger side. So I feel like that they're cool. So yeah, the reason why I consider them to be a couple that could be a good mentorship couple is, like Jackie said, they're relatively young. The way their family is set up, like, it's very clear, like, to me at least, that the dad is the head of the household. Yeah. And in a good way. Yeah, like, it's not like I'm the head of the household because I'm a man, but like, you can tell he leads by example. Right. Just maybe by the different things that he says, the way he speaks about his family, and just the different things that he does. It's like, I can see myself trying to mold my behavior and patterns around somebody like that. Right. Who looks like they're in control, but not like dominating. Right.
but like he has his life together, and because he has his life together, he can then lead his family. And I appreciate that.
And that's really is the family structure is what I look to for them. Like, it's not necessarily their jobs or their work, because that's not really what I would want to do. But yeah, their whole family structure is pretty awesome to me. And then the other couple you're talking about
is much older. But they've been married.
They're like in their midlife.
Is that midlife?
I think so.
Maybe. So yeah, they've been married for a decent amount of time. They have older children.
30 years or something.
Yeah, they have older children. But you can tell, like, even in maybe close to 30 years of marriage, they still look happy.
Yeah.
They still do things together.
And it's one of those couples, like, when they serve at church, they're always serving together.
Yeah.
Like,
you rarely see one without the other.
Yeah. It's really cool.
So I definitely could see myself wanting to learn from them, because Jackie thinks I have like a thing for old people, and I'm not calling these people old, just in case.
When you say a thing for old people, you got to clarify, because that sounds weird.
You always say like I'm just like drawn to old people.
Yeah, you like old people. Like, you like having conversation with older people. You like hanging out with old people.
Just because that's how I learn. Like, I have at work, I don't say it to his face, but he's like my work dad. And I just like to ask questions. And old people typically like to answer questions.
Old people like talking to you too.
Yeah, so
it's weird.
It's not weird. I just have one of those faces. But yeah, I like to ask questions, and they are usually very open to answering those type of questions. So I look for someone who I feel like has, they probably have good life experiences, and maybe have been through a lot of the things that we are going through or will go through. And they can either warn us ahead of time or, give us advice in what we're going through now.
Yeah. There was actually another couple I was thinking about from church, and they're like, I want to say older than the old couple that you just described. But you'd probably be shocked when I say it.
I think I know who you're talking about.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Ooh.
We'll talk about this after.
But yeah, we serve with the wife sometimes. Like once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we serve with the wife once a month with the kids. So I feel like their relationship seems interesting. Like, I don't know them like that. But I would like to get to know, at least I would like to get to know her. Because I feel like I could talk to wives all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah. What other aspect of your life would you want to mentor for?
For me, coaching. This is one of the harder ones, because these are still like my peers for the most part that I know. So right now, I'm currently, who I consider my mentors, like they're like people I only see on TV, but I read their books. I listen to any interviews they do. I try to learn from afar with them. So for like, just in coaching in general, I have a few people that I really respect and I follow, and I would love to have a local mentor. There's a couple people I have in mind. Me and my other friend or coach, Sap.
You've said Sap.
Yeah, I know. He's been on the podcast. So Sap.
Yeah.
That I would love for us to like get to know, get to learn from, and grow in that profession.
Yeah.
But that one, that one's a little trickier, because a lot of the people we do know, they're like our peers, and I'm not asking one of my peers to mentor me.
Right.
Because we're too much like on the same level. Like,
I need someone coaching as well.
Yeah, so I need someone that's I believe is
more experienced.
Not even just more experienced, but more superior. Like they know more than I do.
And they've been where you are.
Yeah.
And moved past it.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So in that sense, trying to find someone who's done that in that field. So for now, it's mostly just, people I know through books or like podcast and just through their interviews and everything that I've gotten to know and follow, but no one that I know personally. Yeah. But I would like to.
Now, in turn, do you mentor anyone, or have you thought about mentoring anyone?
For me, that's a long-winded answer. So we'll go with you first.
I mean, I don't think I've ever mentored anyone. I mean, besides, like, if you count London, like, I don't know. I don't think she's my mentee. She's just my niece. So I try to, be a good example, really, for all the kids that I'm around. But I don't know. Besides, like, cousins, if they ask for advice or something, but not like actually like a big brother, big sister type program. Nah, I've never done that. I've looked into it, and I've looked in Miami for just different programs that have that, and I haven't found one that I would actually want to like associate myself with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I would love to, because I know like our old high school has some type of a program, but I don't know if that would even work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They don't do it anymore. But
oh, okay. Yeah. So, no, I've never mentored anyone, but I would like to.
Yeah. So, for me, like I said, and you asked me, as a coach or in coaching, did I have any mentors that were my coaches? Mm-hmm. And I said no. And as a coach now, I want to change that narrative and perception.
Yeah.
So I want to do, or I have been trying to do more than just coaching and mentoring certain people. So for right now, I feel like there are people I've been mentoring, but indirectly, like.
Yeah. Like the kids that have already graduated.
Yeah, there's a couple of kids that have already graduated that I still keep in contact with a lot. When they come in town, I'll take them out to dinner or something like that, and we'll talk and catch up. And I try to be a part of their lives beyond just the 4 years that I coached them, or beyond just sports. So I think that's another goal for this year, is finding people, and like the head of school always talks, is like pour into someone.
Yeah. I think it's easier to do though with the kids that have already graduated. Because once you're in college, or at least like over 20, you're taking life, or you should be taking your life a little more seriously. Mm-hmm. Whereas in high school, it's just like, no, I just want to play. Like, put me in, coach. Like, it's not about.
But I feel like now is when I can start to build a relationship.
Yeah.
Because that's the main thing with mentorship. And like, that's why I think it's hard for people to maybe just go up to someone like, hey, I want you to be my mentor. There's no relationship.
Yeah.
I want to build a relationship. So
because you're indirectly saying like, help me.
Yeah. So I'm trying to build that relationship so that it's easier. So even if it's just for now, it's just a relationship, it can grow into, hey, you feel comfortable talking to me and asking me questions and different things. So yeah, there's a couple of people that I have in mind that I want to be more involved with in that way.
Yeah.
And to just do a better job with other people that keeping the relationships open with certain people. Mm-hmm. But I definitely feel like that's something that I'm going to be more intentional about this year, especially going into the new school year. And also, like, SAP has kind of found a former student or former player that he's pouring into, and I'm interested to see how that goes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like that's something we both be working on and trying to figure out as we grow in the profession.
Yeah. And do you feel like you're equipped to be a mentor? Like, do you think, because I think another reason why I haven't been really actively searching is because like I don't have it all together. Mm-hmm. Like I'm still trying to figure out my life and what that's gonna look like, and but I have been where younger people are. Mm-hmm. So I kind of know like you don't have to have it all together, but do you feel like you're ready to take that on?
I feel like I'm a little, one day better. Like every day I'm a little bit more equipped to do it.
Yeah.
And when I talk to certain people, I explain to them don't see me as someone who's like has it all together. I'm still working through things myself, but I can help you with certain things that I've been through,
right?
That you don't have to go through because I already did that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, and I've done some minor mentorship activities like with some people, and I think that's one of the things that I think I looked for growing up was someone who kept it real. Like, I didn't like people who, I felt like a lot of the adults always sounded like they always had it together, or that, and it's good to know that the person you're dealing with is human.
Right.
Like, I made mistakes. I don't glorify my mistakes, but I don't hide from them either. And let's work so, hopefully you don't have to go through the same mistakes that I made, but I understand why you may make these mistakes. But let's talk through it, let's work through it, and try to figure out how to avoid them. And if you do go through them, how to recover.
Right.
So.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're doing what you need to do to eventually become ready to mentor? Because I'd be interested to see you as a mentor.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what do I need to be doing? I feel like I talk to more women than I do
girls. I feel like if it wasn't for coaching, I think it'd be the same.
Yeah. Like with my sewing classes, like I love it because it's not even about the sewing. It's just like, it's at a women's shelter and I get to talk to them and we just talk to each other and they'll start asking me random questions about myself or they'll start talking to me about themselves because they're at a shelter and like, who can they talk to, and then it'll just be like, I don't know, them telling me how they even got there and stuff like that. So I feel like at some point I would love to have some type of a space where women can get together, which, it's a part of something that I want to talk to you later, but about where women can get together and talk. But I don't know what that looks like for teens. And I don't know if it's like I'm so far removed now. So
I guess then, because I don't think everyone's in position to just like mentor younger people, but I guess
it doesn't have to be a teen.
But do you okay, so I guess another question would be like your relationship with your mentors. Like what are you looking to gain from them, and like how are you intentional with that, with your mentors?
Yeah. Well, so my work mentor I speak to at least like twice a month. And then the wife, or at least the husband and wife duo we were talking about, I see her like at least twice a week or once a week at church functions, and we've met outside to meet up. So it's pretty consistent. So I just try to be I know that because they are more experienced in the areas that we're talking about, they're busier than I am, as busy as I feel right now. They're probably a lot busier. So I make it a point to reach out because I know that they have other, they have kids, they have jobs, all that stuff. So their mind is not automatically on like, let me text Jackie, So I reach out, and I guess that's kind of what we talked about before, is just making the first move. Sometimes you're going to have to continue to make the moves to ask questions and to get that time with them. So that's kind of how I just stay consistent. But, I don't know if I answered the question.
No, you did. I guess for me is, building up the courage to kind of let a few people know that they're my mentor. And it doesn't have to have the title, I guess. As long as they know, like, they're really involved in your life. Yeah, I don't want them to think I've been stuck in them for, like, the past year, but to kind of just talk to them and, like, hey, let's have coffee or something, even though I don't drink coffee. Maybe something else.
It don't even have to be all that.
Yeah.
Like, it could just be come over.
Yeah.
let's order pizza. Like, I don't know.
I know, it's just weird. I'm still working on it. But yeah, just I think that's what I'm working on. Is trying to be more intentional in that way, to let them know or to open up the dialogue between the two of us, to know that, hey, I'm watching you. That just sounds so weird. I'm watching you. No, just so they know, you know, I'm trying to develop their relationship. Example. Yeah. So I think that's my goal. I'm gonna let one of them know this week, or before the next podcast. Pray for me, y'all.
And there are some people that I feel like what you're explaining, I felt that kind of same situation towards me. Like, maybe they want to talk to me, but they don't know how to talk to me. But I don't know if I'm reading them right. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of those, like, you just have to say something. Yeah. But I don't know if I should say something. Or if they should be the ones who approach me. So yeah, it's interesting. But I do think mentorship is important. Yeah.
And I take mentoring seriously too. And I feel like it's, you know, it's a constant couple things that keep me in line, like to know that someone is kind of watching me in that sense and trying to be a good example. So
that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
All right. Let us know what you guys think about mentorship. If you guys have a mentor. I mean, even most of the people that I like, my mentor has a mentor. You know what I mean? So.
And like what you do with your mentor. Because I'm trying to figure out some good mentor dates. So you guys help me out.
That's not coffee related.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on.
All right. Let's go to the listener matters. I'm satisfied. So much better. Girl, you knock me out. I'm so excited. Okay, so don't forget to email us listeners' questions at michelmatters@gmail.com. This week we have 2 questions.
Yes. The first question is, how important is someone's credit score and financial situation when dating? Could a poor score be a sign that they are irresponsible with their money? Would you have still married each other if one of your credit scores was bad or not financially secure?
That's a good question.
We were broke.
Yeah. Because like when we got married, I don't think I even had credit. I didn't have a credit card till we got married.
Yeah.
So if that was the case, you probably wouldn't have married me. But I wasn't irresponsible with money at the time, though.
Yeah. I don't know. How important is someone's credit score? I think it's probably important if your credit score is like amazing. But if y'all both got bad credit scores, then you know what I'm saying? Is that really important? And it also, I think, because a lot impacts your score.
Yeah. Credit score can easily be improved. Like, at first I wouldn't have believed it, but I know people who have done credit score like recoveries and different things, and really built up their scores pretty quick too. Like, yeah, it's like a legit thing. Like, you can easily raise your credit score. Yeah. The issue though is, and I think the better question is the second one about being irresponsible with money. Mm-hmm. That one is more.
Well, they're saying, could it be a sign that they're irresponsible?
It could be. Like, you could look into it. But I think knowing if someone's irresponsible with money is really important in a relationship.
Yeah, no, that's important. Like, it depends on why. Because if their credit score is poor because they've been...
medical bills or something like that. Like, that's not a bad...
Yeah, you can't help that. Like, if they're putting printers and couches on their credit card that they know they can't pay off, then that's irresponsible. But let's say they were trying to start a business or something, you know, or buy a house, like, I don't know, like, and things went wrong. That's not necessarily irresponsible. It's just them taking a chance on their dream and things went left.
Yeah, like if your credit card statement is like, you know, a bunch of night outs and brunches and you can't pay those back, then that's a real problem. And it's something you have to talk about and figure out before you got married.
Yeah. But I think it is important.
No, 100% it's important. The actual credit score number, I don't think is as big of a deal.
Nah, because you could always repair that. But how early do you talk about that stuff?
You're right. I don't know.
In a relationship.
I mean, I don't know. That's because another one, that's sensitive topics.
Yeah.
But I guess once you kind of start figuring out, like, you know, it's not like it's a serious relationship, or you start talking about marriage, then finances is like next on the list of things you got to talk about.
I think I always knew what you made, though, once we were serious. Like, I didn't know what you made in your first job, like a high school type job, because I didn't care. Like, that's your business. But once we were in college and it was like serious,
Mm-hmm.
like, you told me what you made.
Yeah, you were in my pockets.
And I wasn't in your pockets.
You was in my pockets.
You put me in your pockets. Like, you told me what you made. So I think once it's serious, I guess you should know that information and you should determine.
But knowing how much somebody makes is one thing, but knowing how much
like,
they
their
spend
financial
and
situation.
Yeah,
I knew your financial situation.
Because a lot of people don't like to talk about like their debts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the nitty gritty gets to, is like, how much do you make? How much do you save? How much do you owe? Like, those are the big like factors when it comes to money management with people.
Right.
And then it's, you know, a lot of times is everybody has like different ideas of debt and how they want to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's key, like, to have those conversations ahead of time. Like, the third question was, would you still have married each other if one of you had
a bad score, or if one of us was not financially secure?
Yeah. And it's not necessarily financially secure, but I think financially irresponsible is like a good way to describe it. If one of us is like irresponsible, I think it would have slowed down the process of us getting married.
Yeah.
Because I'd be a little nervous.
Yeah. And I don't really think it's something we talked about until like a little before we were engaged.
But I think it's because we kind of knew each other's situation.
Yeah.
We didn't have that many issues.
Yeah. Like, I never asked you like what you would spend on.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like that. I just knew how much you made. I knew that you didn't have debt.
Yeah.
I knew that your school was paid for. Like, I knew that kind of stuff. And you paid your rent on time. But as far as like, if you wanted to buy a laptop or something, like, that was on you.
Yeah. So it's an important conversation. Is it a deal breaker? I guess it depends.
It's a deal breaker if they are irresponsible. For me.
Well, no,
for me.
I mean,
for me.
But the thing is, what if they just never had the necessary education and we're like, hey, let's figure this out together? If they're willing to work on it, I don't think that should be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
There was once a time where he who knew did not know. So
no, yeah, if they're willing to work on it. But I don't feel like it's necessarily the other partner's responsibility to teach them.
But if you love somebody, I mean, why not?
No, yeah, because I feel like there's things that we learned together.
Yeah.
That we figured out together. But let's say this couple or whoever it is like in their 40s or 50s. You're going to look at it differently than when you're like in your 20s. Like, if you were irresponsible in your 20s, that might not be a deal breaker because you're 20. You know what I mean? But if you're 50 and you still acting like this, then...
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is like referring to people who are like more our age and
no, I know
in the process of building a relationship.
But I'm just saying they didn't specify. So if it was older or even like late 30s, that would probably be a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
For Jackie. I don't know about for you, but because if I'm already learning how to be responsible with my money and invest and do the things that I want to do to help grow it in my late 20s, then why would I'm already comfortable in my situation and you're like in your late 30s still making mistakes. Like, do I want to deal with that? I don't know.
I guess. I mean, I guess it's because that's just... I feel like we're in two different...
I think I'm also thinking about it from a woman's perspective.
And like, you're saying like an old person and a young person. Like,
well, 36 is not an old person. Like late 30s is not an old person.
But I'm referring it to like two people who are just starting a relationship. Like, and regardless of what age it is, I feel like if it's something that can be fixed and we're both willing to fix it,
you're right.
Let's just fix it. Like,
right.
I feel like we could do that.
You're right.
But maybe that's just me as a guy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, let's say you're like on a like Charlemagne money status, and then the other person is like a regular, you know, in debt, in thousands of dollars of debt.
Would I just pay off their debt for them?
Well, I don't think that's fixing the problem.
No, but...
I don't think that's learning together.
It's not, but I mean...
And then you're dating and paying somebody else's debt?
No, not dating. Because...
But that's what they talk about.
Well, they talked about, would you marry each other? I mean, we could still marry and I could clean it up. Would I do it? Probably. But it would be some form of education with it. It wouldn't just be...
It can't just be like, okay, well,
here's
I'll
the
get
money.
rid of it.
Yeah.
And then you can do it again.
But I mean, if we're going to be working together and that's what marriage is, then yeah. If I have the money, why wouldn't I pay off the debt? Since it's our money now, right? I mean, let's be clear.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Is it what? Why are you shaking your
Because I feel like, I guess as a woman, it could be...
Because I'm thinking like if, let's say the woman is asking a question and she's the one that's financially stable and the man is the one that's like just all over the place. Yeah. Then, you know, like she might feel a little iffy.
What's the difference if it was the other way around though?
I mean, there's no difference. You still have to educate, but it's just...
It's a double
like,
standard.
man, I already like took the time to get myself together and you didn't, kind of thing.
Wow, that's really judgmental.
No, it's just the fact.
I'm just joking. No, but I mean, I could see what the problem is. Yeah. But like I said, if we're both willing to fix it and work on it, why not? That's my only thing.
Okay.
So we'll just
no. I feel you. I don't think it's a deal breaker. But if they were irresponsible, and you don't feel like it's gonna change, that would be a deal breaker. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If they're not willing to work on it, yeah, it's a problem. But if they are, let's figure it out.
Yeah. But would we have still married? Most likely we probably would have, because we were broke.
You just loved me that
to
much.
begin with.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, there's love there, and we were both broke to begin with. So
that's true. Okay. Second question. What would you say? What would you say to each other if the other partner didn't like what you were doing in an area and said, "What you won't do, another person will"?
What would I say?
Yeah, that sounds
like a threat.
Yeah, and I don't deal well with threats, especially that kind of threat.
Do it.
And I mean, this question, I don't know where this comes from, or I can't even think of a good situation as to where someone would say this. I don't even know where this
person came up with this question.
But it sounded really personal when they said it.
Yeah, I hope they didn't go through this, because I know this person. And yeah, I feel like at that point, well then, it sounds like you know another person who will, so you might as well just go.
Yeah, it sounds like you know him too well at this point. So yeah, this was an easy one. I don't even know why we had this on here, but...
because they asked.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know. If someone ever said that to you, they don't really care about you.
Yeah, you need to break up with them.
And they care about the other person. So, that's a simple one. Not even maybe.
No, they may not care. They just know the other person will do whatever it is that they're talking about.
Well, ask them.
Yeah, go there.
That's what you want to do? Go ahead.
So yeah, I think those are all the questions. Email us at michelmatters@gmail.com, and let's move on to the slide. episode's business spotlight is, I think, an awesome date night opportunity because we went there on a date. It was actually in the afternoon, but it was just cool. It was something we'd never done before, and we actually mentioned it here on the podcast before. But it's Mercado Studios, and they are a minority woman-owned business in Hollywood, and they do clay classes, pottery wheel throwing classes, all different types of art. I think they also play with like that fire stuff that I know nothing about. But we did the clay class, but also on the wheel. So I don't know. We got it on Groupon, and it was a really good experience. It's also something we gifted to another couple at our church, and they loved it too. Yeah. And they found out that they could also bring their kids. So I guess they have different things to do for a bunch of different people for what you're looking to do. And we made 4 little bowls. Yes. Like little appetizer-sized bowls.
Yeah, which we're going to probably use at night.
Yeah. Yeah, let's use it tonight. Yeah. And Jox actually made some guacamole once, and we used the bowl to put the guac in. Clutch. It was really cool. So you guys definitely go out and support them. I'll put their Instagram and their website in the description. And yeah, check them out. You know, downtown Hollywood is starting to change and look different now. So there's a lot of different things happening over there. And they're one of them. So you should go support.
Yeah. And let us know if you go.
Yeah, let us know if you go. Maybe I'll put a photo of what we made on my Instagram or something. Yeah. So you can see our skills.
Yeah, I think mine came out better though.
Yeah, yours was really good.
Yeah. But you made one that was like kind of nice, but yeah, both of mine was nice.
The shape was good. But yeah. And we might start talking about like date night ideas.
That'd be good. Nice little segment to add at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us some reason to go out.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, then. So, another successful episode.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys. See ya.
Bye.
When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That you might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That you might work, ayy. That you might work. That you might work.